So how can institutional corruption be fought against? I'm Thomas Cox. There's three basic tools or levers that are commonly used to fight against corruption, and we'll talk about each of those three and what their limitations are. Every institution has a pull toward individual and group corruption, that is the misuse of entrusted power to not serve the named and intended beneficiary of the institution, but the people who've been entrusted with power by the institution, either as individuals, as small groups, or sometimes the whole institution gets corrupted and it loses its way. There are three fixes that people have reached for over the years to fight the tendency of institutions toward corruption. Each one can help, each one falls short. Fix number one is to write clearer rules to spell out exactly what the insider may and may not do, so there's not wiggle room to cheat without being caught. If the rules are unclear, I could sell favors and it'd be hard to prove it. When the rules are clear, then if I sell out my duty, it is clear if you check. So clearer rules absolutely can help. They can take away excuses. They can make some forms of cheating easier to spot. However, rules get written ahead of time. They have to be. And then the rules sit still, and then maybe the cheater comes along later, reads them very slowly, looking for loopholes and gaps that nobody thought about when they wrote it, or reality changes out from underneath you, or the industry reorganizes itself to find loopholes or create loopholes. And so clear rules alone aren't going to stop an inspector from just failing to apply the rule, taking a bribe and lying. Like the rule was clear enough, you just didn't follow it. So better rules aren't going to stop that. But as I say, there are a class of situations where clearer rules at least make it easier to spot cheating, and when you spot cheating, you can discourage it. Fix number two, add inspection. People to watch the watchers, auditors, inspectors, oversight boards. Watchers do help. When someone might be checking, cheating gets riskier. When people are driving too fast and they see a cop car parked on the side of the road, they slow down even after they realize the cop car is empty. Knowing that someone could be watching is a deterrent. However, a watcher is also just another insider. And so the power to look hard, the power to look away. And so if, let's say, an inspector and the auditor together team up to be corrupt together, okay, you've just defeated your auditor or your watcher technique. Who watches the watch? You keep stacking watchers on top of each other. You'll never reach anybody who isn't a human who couldn't maybe someday get corrupted. Adding watchers moves the problem, doesn't remove it. Here's fix number three. Keep the defenses working over time. Pay for audits, staff the boards, update the rules. Simply keep fighting against entropy. And upkeep like that does help. You can scramble the auditors. You can not have the same person be audited by the same other person, so that even if they did collude, that collusion doesn't help them because you've shifted things around. If you fund your defenses and you staff them and you keep catching up with the arms race against wrongdoers, that can help. Upkeep costs. It takes steady effort. The good it does is shared by everybody, even though the work falls on a few. And it's very easy when times are tight or there hasn't been any corruption recently, and it seems like a lot of work, and do we really need this? And then the money could be spent somewhere else, and so the defenses get neglected and the walls fall down and people's attention goes elsewhere, and then there's your opening again. So no one of these three fixes will solve this permanently, because none of these fixes removes the root cause, that we have to trust people to do the work, and not everything can be fully checked by a flawless checker. But here's the turn. Every time we put in a fix, it does change the math. Clearer rules, real watchers, steady upkeep, they all do make cheating cost more. It makes getting caught more likely, and it does drive down both the likelihood of corruption and its extent over time. The more people decide that cheating isn't worth it, more of that cheating will get caught, and less of it will be tried. And that's the real question. If the fixes never really permanently fix anything, how have we, as a society, managed to beat back the forces of corruption in the past, even though we have? We'll talk about that on the next video.